Hello and welcome.
Good evening, good afternoon.
I made a very big mistake. I brought in Stormzy and he was benched. Not only he was benched, he also received a yellow card. And somehow, ending on 0 points, my new transfer didn't even ruin my game week. Actually, in fact, I am on a green arrow somehow. And I already knee-jerked a few players and I took a -4 hit. And I'm going to be talking about all of my moves today in this video. I'm not going to be really talking about necessarily like the players that you should buy. I think there are so many. I made a few videos before. It's more about team selection. And I'm going to be explaining why I took a hit already for the players that are in my team. So my team looks like this. I brought in 2 players for -4 hit. And that's where probably saving and carry over transfers for Boxing Days is just like a lesson for the future. It's just so useful so that you can get this, can get ahead of the curve or like get the players that you want so that you can do that without taking hits. But I'm in a position where my player is now suspended. I don't want to get rid of Stormzy. I could have made a transfer instead of him, but he has some nice fixtures. So in particular, Man United there, Brentford there. Like these stickers, I don't trust them. I think that Brentford fixture is fantastic for where attacking football, and Liverpool will be scoring on the counters, hopefully. There's Ipswich, Bournemouth, maybe a little bit tough fixture, Wolves, and all of these. I will be trying to see, and I noticed the pattern at which like Stormzy is getting the minutes. So he gets like 90, then like 70, and then only 20, or 90, 90, 20, right? You can see the pattern actually. So he was getting a more regular playtime just recently, and that's where I think he is now. Maybe it's just to shave off the other yellow cards. That was the instruction. I was watching that game. I didn't notice how exactly Stormzy received that a yellow card, but he entered the pitch for 12 minutes, received a yellow card, and that was his contribution to the game. I expected him, of course, to start. It would be a feast, I think, because Curtis Jones, from exactly his position, scored a goal. That was my differential. If you brought in Luis Diaz, for instance, he also blanked. Odegaard received only 3 points for a clean sheet. Only players that are returning points for you, probably like new players that you brought in, are probably like some differentials, like Bowen or Elanga, and maybe even Gordon. So Gordon was my transfer, right? I decided I need to get Gordon before his price is rising. Apparently it isn't, but it can any moment this night or next night. So I decided to bring him in. And I noticed that if I'm not bringing him in, I'm supposed to be branching either Jackson or Palmer. That's my idea, because Jackson or João Pedro. João Pedro, look, the team looks very bleak and they're playing at Will away. The chances of him returning there are pretty slim, although he's a penalty taker. Nicholas Jackson, on the other hand, is already like performing very, like performances are very bleak, and we noticed that he was benched for Southampton. So my thinking is that he's going to be benched for Ipswich game. There is a likelihood, right? And he may be getting some odd like 5 or 10 minutes at the end. And even if he doesn't, I feel like he's going to be still subbed off at 60th, 70th minute. So the stocks that I wanted to invest in Nicholas Jackson were I wanted to bounce off like Palmer's assist more than like the finishing genius of Nicholas Jackson. And I obviously want to ship him off. And the idea is that I already tripled up on Arsenal. So I probably would want to... also, my second transfer is Gabriel. I just can't watch games without him in my team. It's just like I can't. I know that there's a threat. He almost scored a goal at like classic corner header against Ipswich. Almost scored it, right? Timber obviously scored more points for me, but I think it's more about like having this Arsenal defense. Many people are saying that to get a good defender now for good fixtures, probably a good idea to probably stock up on Fulham players, stock up on, I don't know, Crystal Palace players because they're playing Southampton. For my thinking, Brentford away, who are struggling to score a goal, and even at home they couldn't score against Forest, they couldn't score against Brighton, who are conceding to literally everyone. They conceded 2 goals to Leicester just recently, right? I'm basing all of my thinking of like recent 5 games. I'm more like form than fixtures guy, I think, and form of Brighton and form of Brentford, the 2 fixtures that Arsenal are having, both are away, of course, and then Tottenham, right? So and the way they played against Ipswich as well, it was like energy-saving mode because they're having so many fixtures ahead of them. I think having a lot of defenders from Arsenal is not a bad idea. I already tripled up on Arsenal defense before. It was very painful. I had red cards with Saliba. I had like goals conceded to Leicester at home, to like teams that you wouldn't really expect to score, but they were scoring. And yeah, I mean, it can obviously backfire, but I think 4-4-2 is the formation that I'm going to be rolling with. My captain will be Salah, and that is my idea. So the thing is that Gordon is playing against Man United team, which is a little bit weakened because they are... I think there's like either suspension or like an injury. There is a Bruno absence as well is going to be taking its toll on like the overall performance. The form of Newcastle is quite questionable away. At home, they're rolling everyone. But on the other hand, the game that they played against Villa, obviously it was against 10 men. But I noticed that Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes, they are insane together. They are intercepting. They're winning this midfield battle, which I think will be won by Newcastle. And Manchester United will want to attack, of course, because they're playing at home. I see goals in this game. And I think getting Gordon for a game against Tottenham, and then it's Wolves at home, then it's Southampton away. So this is like an investment, even if he blanks against Manchester United. Obviously, he's returning 3 fixtures in a row. I think it's a nice investment. I could have gotten Odegaard and like maybe not get Gabriel, but the problem is that I would have to fill Joao Pedro. In my opinion, Joao Pedro is not going to be returning and Nicholas Jackson is going to be benched. I may as well even triple up on Liverpool, and the triple up will be in the form of either a defender like Trent or Gakpo. Let's take a look at how other teams performed. Mo Salah is scoring only 35 points. What has happened here? He is not... wait a minute. What are his moves, though? 0 transfers. He saved... He rolls his transfers. Obviously, he captains himself. It looks like it's a perma-captain. And I feel like, yeah, the idea why I went with Sloboda, if you watch my previous video, that was for just to be like Salah, right? If Salah trusts Sloboda, I will be trusting him too. And obviously, now I'm a little bit regretting that move. Ideally, I would have wanted Odegaard, but then I wanted to watch the game against Ipswich and decide whether I want Jesus or Odegaard, and neither were like really impressive. And I realized that they're probably playing like this energy-saving mode, and if they're scoring a quick goal, they probably will be sitting down and defending, and that's what they can do very well. And that's why tripling up on Arsenal defenders, even though there are so many other fantastic options, was my idea. And obviously, Crystal Palace defenders will be very popular. Chelsea defenders still are popular too, and maybe even cheeky Trent would be a good idea. I just think that Trent is like only puts 100% effort in games that are like really big, so that he is like improving his value, and then he's not really trying that hard when it comes down to playing like lesser opposition, in my opinion. My take. Trent, I think we should stop reviewing these teams because he's not doing anything to his team. Like, he carries over, like, that's actually a testament of how he can leave the team and it's gonna be still scoring points for you. Just do nothing, bro. Robertson, I think it's time to hit both Robertson and Trent from our review because they're not doing any moves, and Robertson rank is tanking, and he is not following his team, like not maintaining his team anymore. Unlike with Diego Jota, who is improving on his rank. Oh no, it's a red arrow, but just because his rank was so high, I think it was like 10,000 before. Now it is 13,000, which is still very, very solid, and his captain Salah returning. He has Timber as well, just like me, with 9-pointer and Raya in defense. He doubles on Liverpool defenders, and I don't know what was his move there. It looks like that was his move. Gomez instead of Dalot. Yeah, you would expect not to concede to Leicester. That would be very good for people who have any stock in Liverpool defenders, but they conceded. And I was very happy about that because I had no Liverpool defenders. That would ruin my rank for sure. And there is Conor Bradley with 70 points, and he is almost getting into top 1 million. Captaining Salah for sure as well. I think I'm going to be captaining Salah. I just don't think that there is any... it is worse to roll the dice, and I think that West Ham defense is still very sus. Gabriel and Odegaard are 2 moves for James Justin. And these are free, and James Justin is doing well. He's getting a green arrow here. Just captaincy actually nailed the highest scoring player after Cunha. Is getting him the 10-point double-digit haul. Reece James with 56 points, and his rank is almost... it's a red arrow, but yeah, the people who brought Bruno, I was never considering him to begin with. I just think that until Manchester United are getting like some kind of like... I understand what they're playing, right? Beating Man City away, it looks like a fluke now after all of this praise for Amorim. I think there's going to be a lot of time needed for Manchester United to get into this groove of Amorim football and Amorim ball. 79 points for triple captaining on Anthony Gordon. And he triple captains Mo Salah against Leicester. Interesting. Usually he captains himself, and now if he believed in himself, actually, Gordon could have captained himself. He scored a screamer. Obviously, playing against Villa is difficult, but Villa were playing with 10 men like for like 70 minutes, so they had a lot of chances to score more than just 3 goals. And Gordon scored the opener before the the red card for Duran. And there is Joe Willock with only 31 points. I think his rank is tanking again, and this is a very underwhelming week for Joe Willock. And now we're talking about Stormzy. Let's see what Stormzy cooked. And finally, an incredible game week. And that's actually a path to glory for him. If he continues in the same fashion, he's going to be getting 400,000 game week rank every game week. He's going to be getting 100,000 by the end of the season. I think. That's how it works. Top 1 million rank every game week, and you're going to be only getting green arrows. But this is a solid green arrow, and he has a few differentials. Finally, he brought in Salah, and he has still Cunha. All the players are scoring points except for like 2 or 3, and that looks very nice. Kaisai, let's see what he did. Did he take any hits? Because last game week he took a hit, and he takes a hit again. And the hits are actually not like they're extremely paying off, because Cunha is scoring 12 points, and Estupinian is getting a clean sheet. Yeah, the hit didn't pay off, but I think in the long run, these moves are very nice. And he still keeps Saka in his team for an unknown reason. And this is a red arrow, actually, in fact, for Kaisai. And there is FPL Raptor with 62 points. After 100 points last game week, FPL Raptor is getting another red arrow. And this is a very team that doesn't require a lot of maintaining, but I feel like a lot of things that need to be fixed in one go. He already made a transfer. I think he carried over a lot of transfers, so he can afford getting rid of like Lewis and Bruno in one go. If not, he can still play Robertson, Rogers instead, and let them rot on the bench for like 1 or 2 game weeks. And there's FPL Oscar, who is getting 100,000 rank within 100,000. This is another green arrow for him, and this is the best, I think, rank for him this season. And this team actually looks very nice. Like, he has the core. That's what I'm trying to do with my team, right? I would have wanted Wood. Like, Wood is a player that I think I'm eyeing as well to get rid of, like, Jackson for Wood. Or maybe Cunha if he's not getting that suspension, because Cunha is on fire for sure. And there you go. This is another green arrow for Oscar. And Harry Daniels is getting a red arrow. And he is not making any moves except for one. And that is backfiring very, very big time. And just like, if you're bringing in Bruno Fernandes, right? And you're considering him a long-term option, surely you don't want to get rid of him right now, because he's gonna be suspended. He's playing. You were bringing him in mind that he is playing Liverpool away, which is probably where he's not scoring anything. Maybe he's getting another yellow card. I don't know if that's why I wasn't really keen on getting any Manchester United players at all. There's Ahmad, who is like almost in every FPL pundit, quote unquote, team, and I'm not saying that it's a bad pick at all. I was also like tempted. But that's like additional move. I wasn't really planning on doing like midfielders moves. And then when I noticed that Man United are still in shambles, conceding 3 unanswered goals to Bournemouth at home is very, very underwhelming. I thought that getting Ahmad now for this round of fixtures, obviously there's Southampton and Brighton, I might be tempted, but by the time the situation will change and I will have some spare transfers, hopefully. The idea, of course, is ultimately to roll, like Andy is doing that. Andy is rolling like 5 or 6 moves now. And he will have to get rid of Bruno, probably. And but on the other hand, he can still field Munoz or Raul Jimenez, who is, I think, one of those underwhelming players that he's not involved in goals, you know? Fulham scoring goals, but he's not involved. They beat Chelsea, actually. Crazy result at the Stamford Bridge. And that's why one of those reasons why I see this. There's always a mistake in these Chelsea players. Always there is a goal. I think that opponents can score, and they made a legendary comeback there. Last in the 9 minutes, scoring a winning goal. And they weren't even the worst side. They were attacking as well. Fabio Borsch has 144,000 rank. That's a green arrow for him. Captain in Salah. A few differentials. He still keeps Cunha. My biggest regret that I went with Isak for Cunha. And I should have like really not given a chance to Jackson. Even though he returned in that given game week, I think still there is... You should look at the players really, and like if you see there's like a bowler and he's like really carrying the team and he's on penalties, like there is better ways to. I mean, probably keeping Cunha would have been a better idea. Maybe he's not on the penalties, but ultimately he is carrying the team. Ben Crellin with 3 moves, and all of them are returning. Flecken receiving an injury, Becker not keeping a clean sheet, but in the long run, I think it's a good idea to have a Liverpool defender or goalkeeper, and he's doubling up on Liverpool defense. And that's Liverpool defense. I mean, not a bad idea at all, because you don't really know which attacker is going to be holding from Liverpool. And I already made a mistake with Slobozai. It's a punt, and that's my bid in trying to get into top 100,000. Because if I'm going to be keeping template, I will maybe get there eventually, but I just want to get there now, so I can make a video about that, you know. There's Alisson, Isak, Odegaard, and Solanke, Saka, Flecken. And I think when it comes down to players that are returning, I think Isak is returning. These are free transfers, so I think it's a good set of moves. So this has been the review, quick review. A quick reminder that the deadline is tomorrow. So you're watching this video, maybe by the time that there is deadline already happened. It's just like my thoughts on the team. I think next game week, my plan is to roll and save transfers. Because we're going to be getting a wild card. My idea is to maybe get a different goalkeeper, cheaper goalkeeper, and get rid of both Jackson and Joao Pedro, but not necessarily that I need to do that instantly. I can even play 4-5-1 next game week because Slobozai is going to be available for the Manchester United game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your score, and drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Peace.